What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for joining. We're just letting that YouTube notifications go out and giving everyone a chance to join. This is going to be a special lunchtime live stream. If this does well, there might be some more coming down the pipe. We got first in the chat, Henry. Thank you for swinging by. Frequencies Frontier, or afternoon. It is noon in my time. Oh, I forgot to download those new pictures. Where's Paul? We're gonna drop those real fast. That was the thing I wanted to do. All right, we're almost 2 minutes past, so let's go ahead and get this started. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Frank, KG5AHJ, and I just turned down the noise, and now my computer's muting my own mic here. We're going to have some fun today. We got two special guests in the background. I'm finding windows with the mic volume, and we're going to be doing a fundraiser. The link is in the description below, pinned to the chat, and also after the live stream, be pinned to the comments. We're doing a special fundraiser for Youth on the Air. So let's go ahead and get started, like always, by playing that intro video, or that awesome intro video. Quick shout out to all my Patreons who makes the show possible. You can support me by joining Patreon in the link below. And on to Tank Radio. And there we go. I fixed my mic. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to have some fun. Today is a special live stream. We're doing a live stream for Youth on the Air. There it is, the comment. The comment's pinned to the top, and it has the link to go straight to the Youth on the Air donation page. They need some help. They got a couple of shortfalls, so we're going to do some fundraising. We're going to have some fun and just kind of hang out for this lunch time. And hey man, I if this goes great, I'm going to be doing some more lunchtime live streams. Let me just do a quick little rundown. Thank you to all the Patreon and YouTube memberships for keeping this channel possible. Your support right now means a lot, and you're keeping the channel going. So thank y'all to all my supporters on Patreon and also YouTube membership. I got a sticker pack over on Jason's website that has all my Tank Radio stickers. I have the mouse pad and the new Tank Radio pillow, which is somewhere around. Oh, here it is. Over on the Etsy site, and this is amazing pillow. And finally, 5% off at Gigaparts. Go to Gigaparts in the link in the description, and you get 5% off any item listed there. I know I ran through that fast because it's not about me today. It is about Youth on the Air, and I'm going to bring in some awesome, amazing people. First, we got Katie, and then we have Neil with the Youth on the Air organization. How are y'all doing today?
Doing great.
Yep, pretty well here. Pretty good here as well.
Awesome. All right, I think I got the audio levels right, and I didn't mess up like yesterday's live stream where we didn't have audio for a minute. But sweet. And Katie, this is your first time on at least my live stream. Can tell us a little about yourself real fast.
So I am the public relations manager for Youth on the Air in the Americas. I got my license, I got my tech, I guess, when I was 10 years old in 5th grade. and then I got my general and extra like right afterwards. I've been very involved with amateur radio ever since. It was about a year or two after after I got my licenses, that I was at Yoda Camp for the first time, and then within the next couple of years, I wanted to get more involved, so I was the assistant PR manager, and then I moved up to PR manager after camp last year.
Oh wow, wow. And your call sign? What's your call sign?
My call sign is Kilo Echo 8 Lima Quebec Radio.
Awesome. And what is one of the amateur radio aspects you're enjoying most right now?
My favorite aspect of amateur radio right now, anyway, I mean it has been for a while, but is definitely CW.
CW. Ooh. If you see me type in the chat, there's a reason why I don't do CW. I dyslexic everything because I'm majorly dyslexic, and just try to get the CW letters all out right. That's probably too much of a nightmare for me. So I haven't done that yet. I played a lot with FT8. FT8's kind of fun. I enjoy that kind of in the evenings, when you're winding down and
Mhm.
you just like I'm done talking on the radio, but you still want to play a little bit of radio. And of course, Parks on the Air. Parks on the Air is so much fun.
Yeah.
Frank, you might want to ask her
Yes.
how fast she can copy.
Oh, how fast can you copy?
On a good day, I can go 35.
35. Wow.
On
That's awesome. That's awesome.
On my best day, I could do 20. On my best day,
just
she can do it.
just got to do out there and get it more. Do it more, Neil.
I
Um,
know.
I I I do really do want to learn CW. There's just that mental hurdle for me, and I got time now, so I might try to pick it up. We'll see. We'll see. But so the Youth on the Air summer camp is coming up this week
Next week.
or
next
next
week.
week.
Yeah,
Okay.
I leave tomorrow.
That's why I was thinking it was this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I leave tomorrow.
And what is the Youth on the Air summer camp?
So the best way that I can describe it is like any other summer camp, but for younger kids in amateur radio. Um, Basically, we get together. We start on a Sunday halfway through the day. We have like an opening ceremony and everything, and then for Monday until Friday afternoon, we have different sessions about like different aspects of amateur radio. We'll go through stuff like CW, contesting, Parks on the Air, Summits on the Air this year, satellites, basically anything you can think of, we would be willing to have. We've had high altitude balloon launches. I think we have one this coming week as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, there's the schedule. So it's a pretty jam-packed week, but we go through all of these different like super ham radio, maybe tech intensive sessions, and then at the end of the day, you can see like the green chunks, I guess. We have a lot of time to get to know other young hams that are there as well. That's honestly, aside from the CW and contesting sessions, probably one of my favorite parts because it's really hard to get to know a lot of kids your age in amateur radio,
Mm-hmm.
if you're younger. And so you get basically like a group of 20 to 30 of them together, and there are a lot of really good friendships made. So that's in a nutshell what Yoda Camp is.
That's so much fun. And the camp itself, hold on, I'm getting tripped up my own scenes here. The camp itself is pretty much supported purely through the Youth on the Air. There is just a small fee that you charge, and everything else is picked up by the Youth on the Air organization.
Yeah, so campers only have to pay $100 plus their transportation to and from wherever the camp is being held that year.
Mm-hmm.
This year we are just outside of Denver in Thornton, Colorado. The past couple of years we've had it in Canada, but it's also been in Cincinnati. So you pay your travel to get there. We do have scholarships available if you need that assistance,
Mm-hmm.
but other than that, it's just $100 fee.
$100 fee. That's amazing for just to be that low of a barrier of entry for any of the students out there to wanting to go.
Mhm.
So currently you have a donation page, or y'all have the donation page at the youthontheair.org/donate, and we are going to try to drive our best. Everyone over there, we do need your help to donate and make this more. Just keep this going, and there the donation link is right there at the bottom. They also do PayPal, GoFundMe, and a couple of other Cash App ones. And we have a goal here for $5,000. Right now we're only at 4%.
Well, that's our auction. That
Oh,
was our auction.
oh yeah,
So
you were telling me about
that's
this
the
last
long that's
time.
the long term goal is 5,000. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, we had the auction for the Garmin smartwatch, and that went for $200 and $12 for shipping. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's why the Give Better thing is there. But you can give through Give Better as well. So that's up to you. And if your employer does matching, we're registered with Benevity and Schwab Charitable. So if your employer does matching, you can do it that way, and we get even more.
Ooh, that's a great idea. I knew my previous employer did have the matching program, and that would have been an awesome thing to utilize. Awesome. Let's go over to the camps. There the link is. So this was the previous camp picture.
Yeah, so that's our group picture from last year. We
Mm-hmm.
were in Halifax, Nova Scotia, so it was a little bit of a trek to get there.
Yep.
Yeah, we had to get everything straightened out before the week started, but after that, it was a really unique location. We had the opportunity to operate from an island, so we took a bunch of portable setups out there, made some contacts from there. I believe it was also a POTA as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to do that. We also got to spend a little bit of time like at the harbor, uh, kind of learning about uh, Halifax's history and everything. So that was it was a really unique location to have camp.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a bit bumpy getting there. Um, the year before we'd had it in Ottawa, so it was our second year in Canada last year.
Mm-hmm. And your Neil was telling me on the previous stream, y'all are trying to do like every other year or every other year going to Canada.
So we like to kind of move the locations around, not necessarily like just Canada
Mm-hmm.
per se, but our first 2 years we had in Cincinnati, Ohio, just to kind of like get this off the ground, make sure that we had most of the kinks figured out. But ultimately, the goal of Yoda Camp and kind of how it's structured in Europe as well is that you move around. I mean, in Europe it would be countries, but here we move countries or just geographical location to accommodate as many people as possible. We had a lot of Canadians at camp last year, for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this year we'll have more of an American population just because we're in Denver again. Uh, but yeah, so I'm not sure that we like every other year strictly switch back and forth, but we do try to move around to accommodate as many people as possible. And we also switch back and forth between like having it in June and having it in July to accommodate like high schooler schedules. Because a
Mm.
lot of people like maybe don't get out of school until June, won't be able to make it, or have band camp in July and won't be able to make it. So
I knew.
we we switch things up as much as possible within reason so that we can get as many people as possible.
I like that. I like that. That's a great idea, and moving it around. I did have band camp. I was a percussionist. I like to beat on things. That was that was a fun time. Um, but it's amazing that y'all are doing this program for the youth to get them excited about amateur radio. They're already licensed, and also help promoting all the STEM organizations and just promoting STEM. I just mean in general. Um, and I love everything about that. Is there any like fun tidbits you can share with the up and coming camp next week?
So I know we looked at the schedule real quick, so you might have seen some stuff from there, but we do have a lot planned, I guess, that we haven't done before. We're switching up the sessions again, so there will be a contesting session. I know I'm helping give that one, so I'm super excited for that. We have a high altitude balloon launch, which I know
Oh,
we're all looking forward to. Special event stations, of course. Those are one of the best parts because everyone can kind of share like their operating tips and tricks. A lot of kids actually have their first ever HF contacts at Yoda Camp,
mm-hmm,
believe it or not. We don't require that you have a lot of prior experience to come. The goal of the camp is to get you interested. We don't really focus on like getting people licensed. You already have to have the license to come to camp.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do have that license and you're looking to become more involved with ham radio, that's kind of like that's where Yoda Camp comes in. So we'll have the special event station all week, and then last year, Bigali Keys actually donated a key like to the Yoda group specifically. Yoda in Europe they've had one for a while now, and that came to our camp in Ottawa with some of the representatives from Region One.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, yeah, maybe it's time to get our own. So we got one of those last year, and that will be there as well this coming week.
Nice. So at least the barrier is at least a technician. You don't have to be a general or anything else.
A lot of the kids that end up coming have generals or extras,
Mm-hmm.
but they might not be super familiar with it. It's for any skill level. If you're new, you can if you're new, you can be Elmer. If you're older, and not necessarily older, just more experienced, you can be an Elmer, and vice versa. It doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. And again, the age ranges y'all are targeting is kind of like the high school age right now.
So the age range that we take for like a normal Yoda camp is 15 through 25. So that kind of encompasses high school, college, maybe a little bit after college too, which
Mm-hmm.
is really interesting because then you can see like, oh, this person's in a career path that I'm considering, like you can ask them about it. So that's really interesting as well. For our new program that's coming up next month, Yoda Junior, we've had a lot of applicants under 15 in the past couple years, and I mean it's already a pretty big age range, 15 through 25. So I mean it's not super. It wouldn't be great to have a bunch of 13-year-olds there.
Mm-hmm.
Just maturity differences and everything. So we started a program called Yoda Junior, which is for anybody who has a license. That's still a requirement, but is under 15. So they'll come for kind of like a long weekend with a parent, and it's the same structure vaguely.
Oh, that's awesome. And when's the first time you're going to have the Yoda Juniors?
So Yoda Junior, the first year that we've had it is this year. We've been planning it for a couple years, but next month, towards the end of the month, will be our first go.
July 25th through 28th.
And so if you're interested in getting involved or attended the camps, probably it's too late to try to attend this year's camp. But where can you go to just find out more information about the camps upcoming?
Yeah, so it is a little bit too late this year, unfortunately, to apply for either of those. But if you're interested for next year, or even like getting involved with Yoda before then,
Mm-hmm.
in December it's Yoda month, so that would be a really good way to like kind of ease your way in.
Mm-hmm.
You can sign up to operate with one of our special event calls. Normally in the US, we get four, because we can't get a Yoda call because it has the four letters, but we'll get KY, KO, KT to spell out Yoda. So you can
That's awesome.
do December Yoda month. There's information, I think there's like a whole separate tab about that on our website. And then to apply and for more information about our camps, there's a link on the website. There should be like apply at the top where you can find the whole application and everything. And for just more information and also to like follow what we do throughout the week, we
Mm-hmm.
have social media. We have Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever, and Facebook.
Yep, I see those down at the bottom here. I still call it Twitter. It's just weird
So
calling it
do I.
X. Why?
Yeah.
Why did they do that? What is one of the like? Let me transition that back. What is one of the things that you're most excited for coming up next week?
So the thing that I'm most excited for, um, kind of like non-ham radio, I guess, would definitely be like catching up with all of my Yoda friends. Since
Mm-hmm.
I've been involved for a couple years, I've started to make some closer friends. We stay in touch, talk to each other, like between Yoda camps. We'll go to different like ham fests, ham events, see each other there. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely catching up with friends, meeting new people. In terms of the ham radio aspect, very excited to use the Yoda key again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and honestly, getting to mentor kids in CW and contesting. I've been kind of getting into contesting the past year and a half ish, so I'm excited to be able to share what I know there as well.
Mm-hmm. Neil, what are you excited for coming up next week, other than getting everything there and set
Uh,
up and
yeah,
started going?
I'm excited when it'll be over.
Successful completion.
Successful completion. But I got to show you. This is what I'm excited about today
Okay.
because I told the whole story on the last episode about the pallets not getting to camp
Mm-hmm.
until the very last minute. In fact, Katie's mom is the one who went with my wife and drove the 18 hours to Maine and back to get everything. But these photos are about 2 hours old. The pallets have already arrived at our location in Denver.
Yes.
So I have photo evidence. There's the Cricket 20 kits. That's their intermediate build. And let's see, next behind that we have all the Aris and satellite stuff.
Ooh.
The yellow box below that is full of Heil sound headsets and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
switches. We've got safety glasses there and some giveaway stuff, I think, in the other box. And Yotar made it.
Ooh.
Yotar is our big photo prop that you can stick your head in and get a photo. So
Ooh.
that's
Nice. Nice.
they're
Is
on
that
top.
was that the same photo thing I took a picture of over in Dayton?
Yes, yes, that is it.
Nice.
And here's the other box. Yeah, we've got antenna build parts. We got a wagon. We got the games. We got a blanket for some of our soda and POTA activations.
Mm-hmm.
There's some more buried down in there somewhere. Our video gear is in the black bag there. So that's all our YouTube stuff. We'll be streaming live for the opening ceremony, the closing ceremony, and the Eris contact. So yeah, that's some of our stuff, but never been so excited on a package delivery because I know the stuff is there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
Shipping
last
can
year it wasn't.
Yeah, shipping can be the most frustration part about all this. Every time someone tells me it's shipping problems, I go back to the story of the ARRL like 4 or 5 years ago, where they're shipping. There was a huge snafu, and I think it was due
Mm-hmm.
to weather, and everything that they had did not make it. So they were telling people just bring extra suitcases to the office and
Mm-hmm.
they will pay to get them onto the plane, and they were just shoving everything into suitcases and people are literally rolling them on and checking them onto the plane. I was like, wow, wow. um we got a question here from Dave. Do y'all accept equipment donated?
Usually not. A lot of the equipment donation, we have to like have volunteers to, check it out and sell it and all that kind of thing. So usually the only donations we kind of go after,
Mm-hmm.
and we just, my basement's already full with those two pallets and probably another pallet that's down there that's not going. Um, so yeah, we don't really do the used equipment donation thing. We just
Mm-hmm.
don't have the resources for that. But yes, we do presentations. I will come to do a presentation, or Katie or any of the PR staff will do a presentation either in person or more likely Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
um, for clubs and that kind of thing about Yoda and get into what it's all about. So yes, we will do the presentations, but yeah, not really collecting the equipment.
Okay. Okay. um So let's just we're kind of going in a quarter ish, almost to half of the hour here. We are doing a special donation stream, and Youth on the Air does need your help. If you can head over to youthontheair.com/org. The link is pinned at the top of the chat, and it's going to be pinned in the comments. And you head over there, and you can donate via PayPal, Vimeo, I said that wrong. Sorry. GoFundMe, and they also have a direct donation link at the bottom. They also have a donation through Give Better, and that is a auction, and they have a goal set up for that. And this, please, they need your help, and with the upcoming camp, and also help funding future camps to come. What are you showing me now here, Neil?
Oh, yeah, we got to talk about this.
Okay.
This is this
Bucky's.
this is going to happen next week.
Hmm.
So I was trying to advance it here, but it's not letting
Are
me.
y'all
But
going to do a
here, let
Bucky's trip?
me. So yeah, in fact, here's Katie and Mom with Bucky.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we're going to do Bucky's on the air next week. We're going to WWV one day on
Hmm.
Wednesday of next week. And we're going to operate Whiskey Zero Yankee Stroke WWV from WWV. On the way home, we are stopping at Bucky's and
Hmm.
we're going to have dinner at Bucky's, but we're
Ooh,
going to
barbecue
operate,
sandwich.
yes, brisket, but we're going to operate mobile.
Hmm.
And so we will be Whiskey Zero Yankee Stroke B for
Hmm.
Bucky. So um, we kind of hoped to like get people to go to other Bucky's and kind of do it like we did the Walmart parking lots on the air thing. But Bucky's did not like the idea of us setting up antennas in the dog park and in the
Mm.
green space and everything. So I did get them to allow us to operate mobile.
Hmm.
So we'll pull up my SUV, stick an antenna on it. We're going to clamp a couple of antennas onto the bus and get some ham sticks, and we're going to run Bucky's on the air. So if you want to go to another Bucky's and work us, that would be great, but just make sure it's mobile, it's not portable. But we will have a downloadable certificate
Ooh.
if you work us from Bucky's. So
And what day and time of that is
and
again?
that is Thursday, 4 to 6 Mountain Time. I don't have my numbers together, but
Yeah,
it's,
we
yeah,
could
four
figure it out. If it's
four
mountain
to
time,
six Mountain
so
Time
that would
on Wednesday.
so I'll be ahead of that, and so that would be 4 to 6. Then it'll be 5 to 7 Texas time, and that's the correct
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So I'm on Eastern. In fact, kind of something funny yesterday happened. We had a meeting and they called the meeting for 6:30, and so we were all like, oh, okay, we'll be there at 6:30. No, they scheduled it on Denver time.
Ooh.
So it was like it's really 8:30. I'm like, oh, oops.
Yeah, I'm so used to working with teams being distributed that you just slam whatever time zone in there in the email. And I think we also kind of gotten used to Outlook handling all that for us and just
Mm-hmm.
magically doing everything. So yeah, I can see that. Real fast. Richie in the chat, went ahead and passed his technician test Friday.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations. Let us know when you get your call sign. It shouldn't be too long. The FCC's been probably pumping those out in a couple of days. So congratulations. Jeff asked, "Is there an Amazon wish list for any items, last minute items?"
There is, but about a week ago, I cleared it out because I needed to get everything into those pallets so that they would ship to Denver. So I put like one item in the wish list, and it showed up yesterday. So the wish list is empty for the moment, but it will be replenished after camp. But there is one there. There's just nothing in it at the moment.
How do we find
But
that wish list? I'm looking on the
so
page.
it's right there on the donate page that you were on. It,
Okay.
it says right at the top. It says Amazon wish
Yeah,
list.
there it is. Cool, cool. And I had to fix something on another page. This is the multitasking you do. doing
Yeah.
a live
Yeah.
stream.
So there it is. It's just empty.
Okay. I am going to go
So,
ahead and just link that right to the chat. And I'm going to take a note of that, and it's going to be in the description and pinned later. Sweet.
so yeah, what we'll do is when we find stuff that we should have had,
Mm-hmm.
then I will put it in the list. So when we get back, I will be putting stuff in the list for next year. So that'll be there. And let me give you an update too, because last time we were really desperate for some big donations, and over the weekend, oh, there we go. Over the weekend, the GASME Foundation and NCDXF, the Northern California DX Foundation, and the Worldwide Radio Operators Foundation got together and split up almost all of our shortfall.
Oh, wow.
So we had a shortfall of it kept going up and down between about 18 and 20,000, and it ended up at 20,000. And they put together 15,000 for us over the weekend. So with some other cuts that we made, we've got it down to about $2,000 to $3,000 that we're short. So if you make those small donations, that will finish us off and put us in good shape. And we also kind of need to put some back in savings because we had some people that didn't come through last year that said they were going to. So we kind of need to build our savings up a little bit too. So those donations will still help, and we're like I said, we're still about 2,000 short, but we're much more relieved at 2020.
Yep. That's awesome. They came by and helped y'all out, and I'm hoping that we are driving some good donations today. And if you're watching this after the fact, all the links will still be active. And if you still want to help, you can go ahead and donate then. And I we really do appreciate it. I wanted to again make this a live stream that it you can donate via YouTube, but right now you can't, and things happened. We couldn't get it done right, but we'll next time we'll have this all set up, and we will definitely do this again some other time. Um, if y'all have a question in the chat, go ahead and ask, and we will ask it on the air. I kind of ran out of my interviewee questions. Anything else you kind of want to highlight or talk about the Youth on the Air program?
I don't. I think I may have like vaguely touched on it before, but all of the sessions at Yoda Camp are run or led by younger people.
Hmm.
So ideally, in a perfect Yoda Camp, we would have every session run by someone under 25. That's kind of hard to do. Sometimes, a lot of times we'll bring in a couple adults to run one or two. But the vast majority of all of the sessions that we'll have next week are run by people who are youth operators. And our reasoning for this is that sometimes, as like a younger operator, learning from an older operator, more experienced operator, can be a little bit intimidating. So kids are getting a lot more out of it when they're learning from other kids. So that's kind of how we like structured Yoda Camp. That was one of the things like at the very beginning that we knew we wanted to keep, so that kids were learning from other kids, and it's just a lot easier that way. After finding people to run the sessions, of course.
Hmm. And that's an awesome idea, and it's totally right. I agree with that concept. I think the kids it's much easier to relate to a presenter that's close to their own age and can probably also break the material down into more familiar concepts that as us older guys be like, oh yeah, that's like the thing, you stuck on the wall and you talked on it and had to cord. It's the phone. It was on built onto the wall. How do you don't know this? But it relate it to more timely ideas, and I love everything about that.
Yeah, but it definitely makes for a pretty close knit group by the end of the week.
Hmm.
Um, usually everybody will keep in touch in a group chat or a Discord. A lot on social media too.
Hmm.
Kind of like the little cluster of us that all follow each other. So that's it's kind of funny.
Yes, that's amazing. That's awesome. Um, I Neil, anything you want to add there?
Um, let's see. Let me talk about the opening night. Our keynote
Yeah.
speaker is going to be Greg W6IZT, and he is recruiting youth to go on expeditions, and so he
Ooh.
is going to be there. We started partnering with them, and we also started partnering with the St. Lucia Contest Consortium, J62K. They are also looking for young people to go to St. Lucia to contest. But Greg actually has them go on real expeditions. And there are also remote operating opportunities on these expeditions. Their next one is going to be Saba, and that's coming up in October. So they're going down to PJ5, and that's one that I need for DXCC. So I'm all for it. But they're going down to Saba. They're still looking for a few volunteers to go. And this one's going to be a large youth contingent on this one. They did one last year to Rotuma, and they had, I believe, 4 youth go on that one. This one's going to be like 6 or 8, 10, something like that. It's going to be a much larger youth contingent. So
Is that Sable Island?
Saba, Saba. It's a
Okay.
Caribbean island.
I was trying to
There's
find the web
Um,
page for it, but I
yeah,
couldn't.
Youth DX adventure that Katie's been on. They have been to Saba before. Ruth, my assistant director, went to that one. But it's been a while since they've been able to get into Saba, so we're kind of excited about that. Um, the South Pacific guys are putting together this one for Saba. So that's cool. And oh, you just passed PJ2T. PJ2T is also using some youth. I think they
yeah
may have everybody.
yeah
But go ahead, Katie.
yeah. I think their team is solidified for the CQ Worldwide this October. But I know there's a little bit of information about those and also places to donate to both of those groups on our social medias.
Hmm.
So if you're interested in supporting youth contesting, that would definitely be a good place to do it.
Yeah, this is so cool. I'm so jealous that these programs are out there and going out of the country and just experiencing all that. That's I'm jealous. I'm literally jealous.
Well, you'll be able to tune into the live stream and hear Greg's speech. He's going to talk about expeditions and how all that works. And like I said, he's recruiting the next class of expeditioners. This is going to be our second joint venture with them. So he'll be there on Sunday night to give the
What's the
keynote.
information on his live stream? Where y'all be live streaming that from
So
or
we'll be
to?
on the Youth on the Air YouTube channel.
Youth on the Air YouTube. So in the
Yep.
description there is the and it says Youth on the Air. You click on that, and then you'll find them there. Um, James gave me a $20 super chat. So what I'm gonna do, for the super chats coming into this stream, I am going to personally donate. Well, not personally. Tank Radio is going to move the super chats for this live stream and give them over to the Youth on the Air directly. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
cover the 20%, or no, it's 30% that YouTube also is going to take out of that. So,
Thank you.
um, no problem.
Appreciate that.
No problem. Um, I wanted to drive everyone directly to your website, so all the money goes directly to you. That's why I wasn't saying much on that. But James called me out here. But thank you for the $20 super chat. That is going to go directly to the Youth Air organization. Y'all are awesome. To the ones that joined us late, this is a live stream to help support the youth on the air. They got a summer camp coming up, and they are accepting donations for future camps and also to help cover some little shortfalls real fast, just a little bits. Youthontheair.org/donate. You head over there. They have an Amazon wish list, which is empty right now. We just found out, but I also have lots of other ways that they accept donations: PayPal, Vimeo, GoFundMe, and a direct donate button down at the bottom here. And they do have a better give if you want to set up a one-time or a monthly support to the Youth on the Air organization. Um, and something caught my eye. Congratulations. What? Look at this to be the email. Swear, no,
Oh, the
something
email
else.
that it actually worked.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
it was something else.
I was like, oh, this might be it that we can
Yeah.
finally do it next time. Oh
Be
man,
just our luck, wouldn't it?
right, right. And for me to have my phone on actually not vibrate during a live stream. Yeah. The worst one is it happened to me a couple times. Mom calls, and you just feel bad for bouncing mom's call.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
after the stream, you have to call her back. Hi, mom. I was on a live stream. Sorry. Uh, it's happened to a couple of us.
Mm.
It's fun. It's fun. Um. Well,
Katie, why don't you talk about the latest thing with the intercultural?
Yeah. So, um, Yoda in the Americas is kind of structured based off of Yoda in Europe. I think it was 2016. We had two of the people who are now in the working group for the Americas. They were kind of like exchange campers, I guess. And they went to a camp in Austria, kind of like took notes all week, and then brought back what they found to be like the key points. And so that's how we kind of like started Yoda camps in the Americas based off of that. And obviously, there are some changes to account for cultural differences and everything. But the past couple of years, we've had a few exchange campers from Europe come over. The first year that we had exchange, I think we had a camper from Germany and one from Croatia. And then last year we had a few more. We had France, South Korea. I mean, we had Canada and the US,
Austria.
Austria, yeah, and then also some Argentina, but that's in the Americas. So I won't really count those as exchange. But this year we have a few more countries that'll be represented. So we decided to start an intercultural evening, which is like a really big thing in the Yoda camps in Europe. Everybody will bring something from their country's culture, like a food or a little candy or something like that, something easy to pack, and exchange those all at once. So we started that. Well, are hoping to start that this year, and we're looking forward to that one next week as well.
that's cool. That's cool. Uh, if y'all have any questions in the chat, I'm typing that out now. Go ahead and ask, and we will bring them up on the air. We want to make this a hour, so we got another 16 minutes. We're just gonna hang out and have some fun. Um, and I asked you earlier about what was the most exciting thing or thing you're dabbling in. Mostly, you said it was CW. Can do you have a fun though POTA activation story or?
Um, so I had not done any POTA
Mm-hmm.
before Yoda Camp. But 2023 was the first year that we did a POTA activation.
Mm-hmm.
So I did catch on pretty quickly. There were some hurdles to jump over, because we were using equipment, a lot of it that we had built, the antennas and the
Mm-hmm.
keys. That was a straight key the first time, so we took everything out there and we set up the antenna and everything. And I was like, wait, there are no paddles. And to any CW ops, you know that you're probably not gonna be doing 25, 35 without paddles.
Mm-hmm.
So I did use the straight key that we had built. I was not going 25 words a minute, but we've learned our lessons since then. But Yoda definitely did get me into POTA. I don't go a lot like on my own or with my family or anything to do that, but during yoga camps, it's definitely one of my favorite parts.
What
Nice.
she didn't tell you
Mhm, mhm.
was that she was flying on CW, not 35, but she was flying. And this is a 3D printed plastic
Ooh,
key like this big.
like,
And this girl
atom-sized
was
keys.
tearing it up
Mhm.
for a straight key. She was tearing it up.
If I learn CW, I do wanna learn on a straight key because I think that'd be more fun. Doody 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 doody. I like that. I just got an idea. Um, I dug up all the Hamfest questions I did in the past, and I think it'll be fun to ask you some of these. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
um, I already asked you something that you're interested in the amateur radio. How about ooh, here's a good one. What mistake did you make in amateur radio that you learned the most from?
I have a lot of answers to this question.
Let's go.
Uh, the first and probably most memorable of them for me, I
Hmm.
got my license. I think it was like March of 2019, and I got my call sign a week later, and I was really, really excited. They gave me like the club, so I got licensed. Like my school had a club. They started a club. We had a testing session there, so not like through the school club, but they ended up giving us all little like Baofeng HTs, and I got this HT, and I'm super excited to get on the air. And I must have called CQ on our local repeater for 3 weeks before anybody, and I talked to multiple people
Hmm.
before anybody told me, yeah, you don't call CQ on repeaters. You kind of just like give your call sign. So, that was probably the most memorable of them.
Hmm.
Other than that, I ended up trying to learn CW a little bit before that I actually did. Um, I started the first way that I tried to learn was flashcards, paper flashcards that did not have any sound with them. Um, so that was definitely one of my bigger, although corrected at this point, ham radio mistakes.
Hmm.
Um, Other than that, not really a mistake, but something. Oh yeah, there are the keys. Not really a mistake, but something that I've definitely learned from is to find as many Elmers as possible. If you can find an Elmer for like every different aspect of ham radio that you want to pursue, that's the best case scenario. Because like you can find a really great Elmer for say CW, but they might not be a really great Elmer for Parks on the Air.
Hmm.
So finding as many different Elmers as possible is the one of the best things you can do for
Do
yourself.
you have a particular Elmer that's helped you through amateur radio?
I have kind of to go with what I just said. I have my Elmer who got me into amateur radio. He was our school resource officer for my early middle school years, so we're still in contact. I have kind of like my contesting Elmers, CW Elmers, like lots of different ones.
Nice, nice. What is your next ham radio challenge?
Well, that kind of goes with my next sort of educational challenge, I guess. I leave in August for an exchange year in Germany, so I'm going to spend my senior year
Oh.
in high school studying in a German high school. I don't have a host family right now, so I don't know like what I'll be able. I mean, if they're hams, hopefully they have like a setup or at least like a club station that they go to, but there's no guarantee of that.
Hmm.
So I right now I'm kind of like putting together a smaller QRP esque station to be able to take with me, but figuring out like how to stay involved with like normal everyday operating there is it's definitely going to be a challenge. I'm looking forward to it, but
Have
it'll be
you
something.
have you looked into are they do they honor our ham radio licenses reciprocal or do you need to get a local license?
Um, I've looked into it a little bit. That's gonna take a little more figuring out. I kind of was like, okay, I can go stroke DL for 3 months, and then
Hmm.
by the end of the 3 months, I need to have something figured out.
Okay, man, because I want to operate overseas. I've been on several overseas trips as an amateur radio operator, but I never brung more than just an HT with me. I want to go and bring a whole HF station. Let's see here. What was another one? We covered memorable moments, challenges, mistakes. Ooh, what is an amateur radio adjacent hobby you have, or another hobby?
Um, this is I feel like they all kind of blend together for me, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. I really enjoy traveling, but most of the traveling that I've done has been because of or for amateur radio. Um, Language learning. I Since I learned Morse code, I've kind of started like looking into learning different languages. I took a linguistics class this past semester that was pretty enjoyable, so that was interesting. Um, Trying to think other than that.
Are you fluent in German?
Not yet,
Not
but
yet.
I will be by the end of next year.
that that's awesome. Final question to put you on the spot here. What got you into amateur radio?
So that was kind of a mixed answer. My family has been involved in amateur radio for a fairly long time. My grandpa's had his license since he was probably 14. My mom had had her license since she was 14. I didn't know about either of those until after I got my license, or after I told them I was studying for it at least. But like I said earlier, my school resource officer started an amateur radio and electronics club my first year of middle school, so like fifth grade. And I was like, yeah, this looks kind of interesting. So I joined it, um, got my license. I was the only one that year from the club to get their license. It's always hard, like, if you are starting a school amateur radio club or one that has a lot of young people in it, or you have started it, it's hard to get it off the ground because especially like if they're younger kids, high school kids, a lot of people don't know how to study for this or just don't know how to study in general. If you're 10 years old, that does make sense.
Hmm.
So not a lot of people passed that year, but since then we've had lots more get their licenses. We actually just had a testing session of 7 high schoolers get their licenses a couple weeks ago, so that was pretty cool. But anyway, back to the main story. So he started this amateur radio electronics club. I got my license, and at that point, I mean, I think we kind of all had the moment where like our first Elmer was the ham radio operator. Like they were the one singular, like they knew everything.
Hmm.
So that summer, he and my parents took me to a couple different like local field day setups, and I remember one of the guys at one of them was like, I mean, I'll bet you $20 that next year at field day you can do CW 20 words a minute. Um, the next year was COVID, so we did not have a field day set up that year, but I did in fact do 20 word a minute CW for the record. So yeah, but after that, I got licensed in March of 2019, so we had about a year until the pandemic kind of really took over. And once it hit, it wasn't great for anything except my ham radio involvement. Suddenly I didn't have to go to school all day and do schoolwork all day, so
Hmm.
I joined CW classes, and joined. There's this group called Yacht Amateur Communication Ham Team. So I joined that and started like checking into their nets every night. And those two things really helped me realize like how much there is in ham radio to do. That's where I found out about Yoda, found out about the YDXA Youth DX Adventure. So from there, it kind of my involvement just kind of was exponential, grew exponentially. I don't know, but once I had a lot of time to dedicate to getting on the air, meeting people, I've I just got really involved with that, and then I mean I have been ever since.
Awesome, awesome. Is there a particular? Was it the yacht club that helped you learn CW, or did you do it through like another group?
So in the early couple months of the pandemic, the LICW club, one of their adult members was like, "Hey," he approached the guy, one of the founders, and was like, "Hey, I want to start kids classes because like all these kids, they're not going to school. They have so much time on their hands." So I was like one of the first. first groups of kids to go through those classes. And I learned CW there, kept taking those classes until the instructors kind of stepped down and switched over. At that point, I started teaching for them. So I teach the kids intermediate and advanced classes. I have since August of 2021, I think.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But so I took those, learned through there, taught through there, but a lot of the improvement I did obviously was on the air, because you're not going to get better if you don't get on the air.
Agreed. Agreed. Thank y'all for both coming on. The Youth on the Air donation page is currently still active. So go ahead and head over to youthontheair.org/donate and help them out via PayPal, Vimeo, GoFundMe, or the direct donate button. This has been an amazing live stream. I'm going to take James's $20 super chat and I am going to fund it over to y'all. And I hope it helps y'all and continue on with this amazing program. I love everything about it. I'm going to give the floor to Neil. Do you have anything to add or you want to tell us?
Like I told you before the show, Katie can sell this better than I can. She's the recipient. I just do all the grunt work.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Frank, thanks for doing this. We really appreciate it. We like I said, we're in much better shape than we were last time we talked, but we could still use some donations to help pay for this stuff. It's about $2,000 per camper.
Mm-hmm.
Is what we actually spend. And, like Katie said, we charge $100 and basically that's just to make sure you show up, that you have an investment in it. And we have those scholarships that will even waive that. And you do have to, get there and back.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's, to put on a camp like this, it's not cheap. We've got to pay for buses, we got to pay for dorms or hotels and meeting space and all those kinds of things. And we get some amazing donations of equipment from ICOM and from Heil Sound and DX Engineering and all those places. And then the foundations that I mentioned, YASME and WWROF and NCDXF and many others, Radio Club of America. You can see all of them on our webpage, but without their help and everybody's help, we couldn't make this go. I mean, I put hundreds and hundreds of hours into this every year, but I can't afford, $70,000-$80,000
Mm-hmm.
to run a camp.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just really appreciate the help. And
No problem. I'm happy to do what I can.
we will
Because
put it to good use.
Yep. Thank you for coming on, Katie. Final thoughts, or and you want to add anything and or give a shout out to anything?
Yeah, definitely. All of what Neil said is very, very true. It's crazy expensive to have a camp like this. Like, the individual camper cost is very, very high. Um, and in addition to that, I mean, we have staff coming in. Lots of staff members every year come for chaperoning and to make sure that everything runs smoothly. So definitely, huge thank yous to everybody who's donated or everybody who staffs. It really would not be possible without all of those donations and all of those people.
Thank you. That's awesome. Y'all hang out for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap us up here. Thank y'all for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you can, please go ahead and head over to that Youth on the Air donation page and donate, and let's help them get over that last final hump. There is the donate button right there. And yeah, let's make this happen and keep this going. Y'all are amazing and awesome. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. Thank you to all the YouTuber memberships, and thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. As always, go forth and conquer. Say bye.
Bye.
And where's the last transition I can never find? There it is. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You can support me on Patreon. There is a link in the description below. And to all my tankers out there, go forth and conquer.